But SCORE is the largest network of free volunteer small business mentors in the nation. So no matter what stage your business is at, SCORE has a mentor for you. Easily request a mentor to help you start, grow, or transition your business. You do that very simply by going on to your local SCORE website and requesting a mentor. SCORE's mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. We do mentoring face-to-face, by phone, by Zoom, whatever's convenient for the customer. And educations we do also. We have live webinars, that's what you see today, and we have recorded webinars on our national website. But we aim to give every person the support they need to thrive as a small business owner. Small businesses drive our national economy through business formation, job creation, and wealth building. Small businesses are critical to vibrant communities in our society. SCORE's for everyone. We have special programs set up for Black entrepreneurs, veteran entrepreneurs, Hispanic entrepreneurs, and women entrepreneurs. We want to empower all entrepreneurs to succeed. We'll share with you that protecting our clients is our priority. We have a code of ethics that all volunteers need to agree to and sign annually. SCORE mentors are not permitted to make money in any way from SCORE clients. Volunteers may not use our client or member database for commercial reasons. All client information is confidential and protected by the U.S. government. This is a screenshot of what one of the typical SCORE websites look like. If you go up to the top and see Find a Mentor, that's where you can click on that and select a mentor by your location or by what preference you're looking for. And then over next to that are workshops and events, where you can go there and select a startup roadmap, or you can look at recorded webinars on business topics by industry experts. So it's very great resources that are free to use. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because our work is supported by the U.S. Small Business Administration and funding from Congress and a few generous sponsors, and thanks to our network of over 10,000 volunteers, we're able to deliver all of these services at no charge. And again, we're a resource partner with the SBA. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to turn it over to Maria, who's going to take it over from here. So thanks again, Maria.
Thank you very, very much, Bill. Thank you to everyone too at SCORE. Let me go ahead and share my screen here real quick. You're going to see two of me. The way my screen sharing works is you will see two of me, just so you know that there's nothing wrong. You do see two of me here. And I like to thank you, and I'm excited to be here, Bill. Thank you for having me. We're going to be talking about how you can increase your sales utilizing Google tools. And as Bill said, you are going to get a copy of today's slides as well as the recording. That'll be sent to you. But if you'd like it right now, I do have that available to you. Not the recording, of course, because this is real. This is me, and we are active right now. But you can see, let me bring that up, that you can get a copy of today's slides by just using this link. So that's the slides I'm using right now. Feel free to get a copy of the slides, because maybe you want to use this as a checklist or even an outline of how you're going to implement exactly getting more sales and increasing your online sales. So you can utilize this again. You can use the QR code or the link there at the bottom, or that I just dropped in the chat box. Feel free to use those both, and they will be available. The handout and the slides will actually be available to you while we are talking right now. Now, after the actual session, it will be sent to you. So I know the slides are in there. I think the handout is still loading. If you don't get it in time, not to worry, it will be emailed to you. Okay, so I just wanted you to feel comfortable that you will have everything plus a copy of the recording. All right, so you'll have all of that available to you, and you have all of that through SCORE. I love working with SCORE because these are experienced people who are here and definitely vested in your success, and I believe in the value of other people's experience. So the most important thing that you can do is being able to create and tap into that experience. So create those connections with them, tap into the experience, get with your local SCORE chapter and ask those questions, because there's such a wealth of information. Other people's experience is much more valuable than other people's money. Find that chat box though. That's the first order of business. You'll find that I customize every session that I do for the people in the room. So the only place that I can hear you, because your mic is not going to go on, your video is not going to go on, but the chat box is exactly where I can hear you. And we can spend this time focused on your questions and your needs, which absolutely will help you in growing your business or making some critical business decisions. As Bill was saying, I am on the Google team. So I'm here with you as a business growth with Google coach. Also, just so that you know, I also own a small business. So I've been in small business for 20 plus years. I started in a business incubator. So remember what I said about other people's experience? I truly do walk that talk, because that's how I started my business. When I was butcher, baker, and candlestick maker and everything in business. And about 7 years ago, the Google team actually reached out to me because I'm somebody who's done that, carrying all of those roles and still taking care of customers while taking on chief marketer, chief analyst, chief digital person, and having to also take out the trash and serve the customer, right? So we're used to doing all of those roles, and trying to juggle what's happening here and take on those roles is not easy. And they wanted somebody with experience. So they brought on some very, very experienced Google trainers, and I am one of them. Again, I want to say thank you to SCORE, because they do have such a wealth of experience. Please, please, please take advantage of it. You have to be the one to make that first move and that ask, but I guarantee you, you will not be sorry if you have the value of other people's experience. So today we're going to be talking about increasing your sales with Google tools. Now in that chat box, remember what I said about finding the chat box? Well, let me know if this is your first time in a session with me. Just put the number 1 there, because I see some familiar names, but if this is your first time here, I want to know and say hello to you. Hello, Stephanie, Carly. Hello, Brandon, Akisa, Lori, Diane. Wow, lots of people, lots of new faces and new friends. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm excited that you're here. You'll find that I do customize every session that I do. That's why it's so valuable that you found that. Hello, Stephanie. And it's also important for you to know that I do speak fast. I do keep it highly interactive and fast. So this is your session. If it takes about a sentence for you to write a question, that takes about a minute for me to read it. And that's not a good experience for you, because all you see is the top of my head. So I save those to the end. All right. Hello. Welcome. Oh, I love this. Sarah Bale. Shout out to your business. I always love that. You never know who somebody is in the room, who they'll become, or who they influence. So you'll see in that link in front of you in the slides, there's a blue link actually that you can use to find all things small business for Google. And you can find me on socials at Maria Duron. That's me on Twitter or X. And the second one, at Marketing Coach Maria. It's Maria. That R is not meant to be there. That is a typo. So it is Maria. And you can find me on Instagram. If you want to tag me, I will definitely share you out, repost, retweet, put you in my stories, so you get a little bit more visibility yourself. Today, we're going to talk about how you can showcase your business with a Google business profile and how you can list your products on Google. How many of you do have a Google business profile? Just put the letter Y in the chat box. I would love to know if you have one. All right, perfect. I see you, Jadid, Carly, Fatima. Tell me, how are you using it? Those of you who do have one, how do you use it? Do you put your, if you have an address and you want a location where people, or you want to showcase where your location is, are you putting that in there? Or are you not showing your address? Because you don't have to if you're home-based or by appointment only or online. You don't have to. So you don't have to show your address, but you can show you serve the local area or the service area that you actually provide. So you can control your information on Google Search and Maps. But I hear a lot of people who don't know how to do that, because they'll say those myths. I'm home-based. I'm by appointment only. I don't want anybody showing at my front door. I don't want my address to be on Google Maps. And you don't have to. You can suppress all of that. So I see you post photos and special bracelets. Let's see what else everybody does. Let me bring this a little closer. Not showing address online. Perfect. That's good that you don't do that. Then you can decide to do that. You actually suppress that, saying that you deliver products and services to people at their location. And then you don't have to showcase your actual address, but you can still show yourself on Google just without the address. I have a profile, filled out a bunch of stuff, but I don't actively use it like you should. Absolutely, Carly, you have the opportunity to post there. So you can do post updates, share your offers, share your services, share your products, and you control all of that information on Google. So I know a lot of times when I hear people say, well, Maria, I don't know why Google's showing this, or I don't know why Google won't show me. It is because they don't know how to control their information on Google, and they just post something up there and hope once they post and publish it that Google bot is going to find it. And while Google bot is great, hope is wonderful to have, but it's a very poor strategy. So let's talk about a strategy, and we'll talk about how you can list your products, set yourself up for success. So I'm not just going to be talking about your Google business profile. I'm going to be talking a lot of different Google tools. So let me know if you are e-commerce or brick and mortar in the chat box, or are you both? And if you're both, that's great. I'd love to hear that you're both. If you made that change where you are actually both. Okay, both e-commerce, both brick and mortar. All right, some who are not with e-commerce yet, which is fine. You know, now you could get started with some really good practices in place, and you don't have to worry about bad habits, right, getting in the way. Both, I see both brick and mortar. Perfect. Everybody, thanks so much. What about services only? Yeah, services only are great too for your Google business profile. They have services listed there that you can list online, and you can control the information, what your description is, what you offer, the visual that goes with that, all of that. But even if you're service-based, so is that you deliver service at their location, like you're a plumber, or are you a service where you're an accounting firm and they come to your location, or do you go to their location? What's your service? I'd love to hear. Are you heating and air conditioning? Just let me know there in the chat box. Yep. And then also e-commerce. All right. Always at their location. Bookkeeping, right? A lot of people do virtual bookkeeping, virtual note-taking, virtual notarizing. So there's all of that. Now for yourself, and if you want to drop this in the chat box, you are welcome to. But let me know. I'm hear somebody talking, so you just might want to mute your mic just in case you don't have your mic off. I do hear somebody talking, and I just want to make sure the recording is nice and clear for everybody, because I do know I speak fast. So make sure your mic is off. If you've got a hot mic on, let me see here. I don't see any name that pops up, so somebody took care of it, which is great. Thank you for doing that so much. That way we get a nice clean recording that you and all the other participants can also go through. But think about 3 things that you want your customers to know about your business. What's most important for them to know? Okay, so 3 things. If you want to list them here in the chat box, feel free to, but this is really for you. What are the 3 most important things that they need to know? And as you look at those 3 important things that they need to know, is everything that you're doing online exuding those 3 things? Can I look at all of the 3 things, from your pictures to your videos to your posts to your updates? Can I tell right away what is it that you want me to know? Or am I trying to guess, is this something personal that you're posting about, or something else? Is this about you, or is this about a customer that you have or a business that you work with? All right. So are you expressing and exuding this to the fact that me totally coming as a stranger, I get at least one of the 3 things that you want me to know about as somebody who's a potential customer for you? And if I'm not a potential customer, then it might mean nothing to me. But is it aligned with who that potential customer is? Okay. So one of the tools that you can use to increase sales is your Google business profile. This is the one that a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about, and they believe myths like, okay, well, I'm home-based and I don't want my address to show up on Google Maps, so I can't do that. And I'm only delivering products and services to their location. Or maybe I'm somebody who has a rug installation or carpet cleaning, and I have a warehouse, kind of a storage area where I keep all of my supplies and my equipment, but it is not where I want at all people to come. So not public facing at all. I want to make sure that that's not showing up on Google search and maps. We'll control that then. As far as claiming your Google business profile, and then you control that instead of letting a competitor control it. Because if you don't claim it, then a competitor, a disgruntled employee, somebody who's just random and mistaken that it's not your business, but they think it is and they're upset with them, so they give them a review, you could be the one saddled with that. And understand that your online reputation is as important as your offline reputation. It is still reputation. In fact, we go here first. This mobile device, 84% of the time, when we want to know, go, do, or buy. And whenever we find things here and we see it quickly, we make a quick assessment. In fact, if your site doesn't load in 1.2 seconds on a mobile device, 1.2 seconds. So time, how long it takes your site to completely load everything, 1.2. And then if you're an e-commerce site, you get a little bit more grace, 1.8 seconds. but it's got to be on a mobile device because that's where we go first when we are ready to do something and understand, or when we're ready to learn about something. Do understand that you will lose over half, 53% of your traffic if it doesn't load in 1.2 seconds or 1.8 seconds. And for every second over, you'll lose another 10% of that traffic. So you could be working like crazy to try to get people to come to your website. You're posting on socials, on Facebook, you've got Instagram reels going, maybe you're dancing on TikTok, whatever you're doing, you're trying to drive traffic there. And if it takes 1.2 seconds to load, they're gone, over half of them. And for every second after that it takes to load, you will lose another 10%. So I see a lot of people who don't realize just how quickly their site needs to load. So let's look at this case study real quick, right? So this is a woodworking team. So a woodworking couple here, they have a business profile. This is what it looks like on mobile. So this is what it looks like when you're looking at search or even in maps. It's in both locations. You see the number of reviews you have there. That's really important. People want third-party validation. Google reviews are very critical because people see them as very valid, because you do have to show and prove that you are actually a real person to leave a review. And it carries a lot of weight, not just for people, but for the algorithm, right? You've always heard about Google's secret sauce, right? The algorithm. The algorithm is built on 3 different pillars. One is relevance. How well do you match what people are actually asking or typing in? So if they're saying, hey, Google, hey, Alexa, what are they looking for? But it's not just that kind of hey they're asking anymore. They're also asking Perplexity AI, ChatGPT, right? They're asking Claude 3. They're asking Bing GPT. They are asking in full sentences, and you need to match exactly what they're searching for. So being relevant is critical to one of the pillars of the algorithm. Number 2 is distance. How far are you from the person that's searching? And then number 3 is prominence. What's your quality score? When was the last time you updated your site? Do people watch your videos? Do you upload videos? Do you have current and helpful information on your site? Do you have online reviews? And when did you last respond to your reviews? It's a heavy, heavy factor in your prominence score, which is a heavy part of the algorithm and determines where you show up in Google search. So you can see photos and videos there, highlights, phone call. They can click right away, especially if you're a local service-based business. You may want that call to click right away, right? Because that's how you earn the business. And your location, if you want it to show up, you can suppress that. Remember what I said at the very beginning. Do not believe the myth that if you're home-based by appointment or that you're online, that you cannot utilize your Google business profile. Now, if you are a brick and mortar, you can showcase your actual location. You see it right there in that red pin in the center. We're used to seeing that. But you can also say your service area. So let's say you service this whole zip code, or maybe several zip codes, maybe several cities and counties. You can put up to 20 cities, 20 zip codes, and 20 counties that you service, and you never have to show your address. So to set up your Google business profile, you can go to google.com/business and you can claim and verify that you are the business owner. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail to this today because we have a whole session about how you can calibrate and optimize your Google business profile for the maximum visibility, even if you want no address to show whatsoever. So we have a whole session on that. And Bill, I'd love to come back to do that. If they're interested, just get with your local score counselor and they will ask me, they'll get together, they'll ask me if there's enough interest in that, and I'm happily will come back and go through that session, okay? So you can go keep it current. So once you've claimed and verified that you're the actual owner, when you're in Google search, this is what you see. All those icons now become available to you in Google search that you do not see right now if you've not claimed your profile. You have the opportunity to edit it, to read your reviews, to be able to add photos, to look at the performance. Now, let me give you a strong hint. Google absolutely does look at this information because this is information directly from the business owner if they've claimed their business profile. Remember what I said about competitors can also utilize this to help point eyeballs, get more visibility in there and to their way. But do understand, once you've claimed it, once you've verified the owner, then you're the owner. Google knows this, and the information's coming directly from the owner. And that's a big difference. When the information is coming directly, completely and directly from you, now Google puts more weight in that score and those pillars that we're talking about. And that is actually where all of AI is pulling information. The majority of it, whenever people are doing an AI, an artificial intelligence search, so it's search powered by artificial intelligence, when they're doing that, it's pulling from a lot of things from your Google business profile. Yep. Definitely, I would love to do a Google profile optimization session. I know a lot of people, when I do that, I do a lot of hands-on and actually showcase my screen while I'm walking through, and people are blown away as far as what they can actually look at and what they can control. So you can learn more by going to google.com, actually /business is where you could do that, but you could go here and Google your business to just see how you're coming up. How are you showing up for people? So as you have access and you control your Google business profile as the owner, you're the verified owner. Now you can go here through business name, category, description, location. You can update all that. So put your business name that people know you by. That description, remember what I said about matching what people are actually saying. So utilizing their words, it's on us, all on us, to be experts on our customer. So those words in the description that are there, look at that front and center here at the very bottom paragraph of that graphic you see there in the actual laptop screen, you'll see description. Those words, they need to match what people are searching for. If people are not searching for, let's see, if they're not searching for riding bikes, if they're not searching for furnish their apartments, if they're not searching for that, and their words are, I'm looking for how to salvage back doors, how to salvage farm doors, I'm looking how to remodel and DIY, none of those words are in that description, so you won't match. How can you find out the words people use? Read your reviews. In your own reviews, people are telling you in their own words what matters most to them, because they mention in reviews what is most important to them. Don't have any reviews? No worries. Go read your competitors' reviews and find out what matters most to people who could be your potential customer. It also gives you a chance to do competitive research and see if there's a sweet spot where your competitor is not doing well that could be an opportunity for you. So I said management instead of ownership. Yes, you can also say management too, but you have to have access, Clay, to be able to prove that you are associated with that business. So if you're managing, you can claim it as well, but do know you need to make sure that you can prove it, because you cannot make drastic changes to that Google business profile unless you are the owner. What percentage of AI searches pull from Google business? Oh, I can't tell you that because the algorithm's always changing, Denise. AI is like the discovery of electricity and the implementation. It is just that time right now where we see some people who don't want to use AI. It's like people who had kerosene lamps and wood burning stoves and didn't stay up late at night, which wasn't too long ago. Electricity didn't come around to not too long ago by everybody in the masses as far as being actually a very active consumable. So as you think about that, that's really what AI is like. Some people will use it, some people won't. So that percentage is always fluxing, but we do see an increase in the people using it because it's being installed in everything. All right, you can also choose your actual attribution. So, if you want to put out a little bit more about what makes you unique, I work with a lot of veterans. So I'm an Air Force brat, and I work with a lot of military spouses and families that have businesses dealing with PCSing and deploying. And so because of that, when they see veteran owned, they like to do business with veteran owned, or sometimes they want to see women owned too. You can choose whichever attribute or as many attributes that really represent you, and you can have that showcased in your Google business profile. Now, how you can set that up is once you can control your business profile, you can go in there and edit the profile. You can say yes or no, and clicking there exactly what attributes actually apply to you, and then you can save that. So that's what that screen looks like. Then, of course, you can update your hours of operation. So if you're 24/7, great. But if you sleep anytime and you're a one-person show, then you might want to show that you close down at certain times. And that actually is a signal to Google that is more helpful to people, because now people will know that they can at least reach somebody. If it's by chat, it's by email or by phone, that there is the potential to reach somebody during those business hours, as opposed to 24/7, unless you've done a really, really good job filling out the Q&A sections of your Google business profile. And understand, Q&A section of Google business profile is where a lot of information for AI is being pulled. So if you've not filled out or seeded your Google business profile Q&A, and that is really about you asking your own questions and then answering your own questions. So the questions you ask are your frequently asked questions, then do know that you're leaving a lot on the table that you can control, and you can put unlimited questions and answers there and answer them yourself. There's no penalty with that in Google. So how to set this up is you can edit your profile, those hours. You can even put holiday hours. You might have special breakfast hours. Maybe you have special curbside delivery hours, all of that. Yes, really, Denise, it is. It's just like that with the onset of electricity. And understand, that when we have heightened expectations, so understand that before in 2020, very rarely did any of us get on a video or Zoom call, right? And very rarely did we expect curbside delivery or even DoorDash or delivery or Uber to our door. We just didn't expect it. After 2020, boy, we've made that quick turnaround. All of a sudden, we have curbside delivery. We have with Amazon, we have 24 hours, maybe even same day delivery. All of a sudden, we had heightened expectations, and now we expect it from every business. In fact, we're kind of upset when a business doesn't provide that. So you can see when we start changing our behaviors, how quickly the market can move. So as you actually are updating information online, you can let people know with your Google Business Profile if you have any deals or any updates. Maybe you have a new team member. Maybe you are bringing in something brand new and you're giving them the sneak peek. Don't we all just want to be there and get the behind the scenes or be that fly on the wall that gets to see something that not the general public really has access to? So you can give them those updates to say, oh, we're going to have free shipping, or look, we're putting in this new product. I even saw in Houston when the big hurricane hit, I saw a business utilize their Google Business Profile because they had a flood and they had to do a lot of remodeling. And so they moved things around, and they would actually use their profile to engage people and say, should we put this here, the shelf here, and the massage table here? Should we do this and this? And everybody would get very active in responding to them in the comments of their Google Business Profile, because it can be very social, but it's very, very highly informative. And so when they did a re-grand opening after the remodel, they had a blowout attendance because they kept everybody engaged, and it felt like their place, their spot. They had made a difference and actually had input on where things were moved. So you can put updates in there. You could put posts, you could put offers. Offers are visible all the time until the offer is ended. So if you have an offer that's available till October 31st, it's there and visible on Google Search and Maps till that time. Today, this event, Bill, if you wanted to, you could have posted this event and it would have been visible till the actual event started. So that's another place where you can reach people, because understand, not everybody's on TikTok. Not everybody is on Facebook. Not everybody's on socials at all. But when they want to know, go, do, or buy, 94% of us go first to Google. The other two, after behind that, the rest actually go to YouTube. So YouTube is a search engine, and both are owned by Google. So we as small businesses need to really understand how Google search works. So your post, when I talk about those updates and those offers or even event, this is what it looks like. You can put a photo there so that give them a good visual. If you have a location, now this is where you can actually put your location pictures to show them if you're hidden behind the taco stand, or if they get distracted because over there's a big restaurant. Now they can find you. If you don't have that, let's say you're online, not to worry. What picture showcases what it looks like? What's the outcome, the benefit they're going to get from being with you? I was working with an accountant and bookkeeper team, and what they would actually do is they would showcase pictures of messy shoebox receipts and then a photo or a screenshot of a beautiful graph, right? Or a beautiful profit and loss statement. So they were able to take that mess and transform it to that. So you can see that outcome. How can you delete pictures by clients? You cannot. You can request it, but you cannot, because Google puts a lot of weight on what people actually are posting about your business. So it puts a lot of weight on their photos. But how you can beat that, Miriam, is you can actually, so Miriam asked a question just so that everybody's aware. It says, how can we delete pictures posted by clients in my Google profile? It's very difficult to do that. So how you beat that out is you post more pictures. The more pictures you post, the more you control your visual image, your visual brand. Now it will pull from that instead of others. If you only post 4 and your clients and customers are posting 14 in total amongst all of them, you're not going to have those photos show up. The 14 of theirs is going to show up, and that's all you have a chance to actually be seen in your actual brand. So take control of it by posting your own photos. You're very welcome, Miriam. So as customers search, remember what I said about reviews being so heavy and so important? This is critical. Understand, if you are playing and want to play on the national stage, all right, because a lot of people will say, well, Maria, I really want to reach more than just a small area. I want to reach the entire nation. Now, if you have your Google Business Profile and you put the USA as your entire service area, which it may very well may be, or even international, more than likely, then you're showing, if you have a pin, if you're showing a pin anywhere, which I wouldn't recommend doing if you don't want to show your physical address. The pin is only needed if you have a physical address. So if you don't have a pin there, not to worry, it will show on the maps a little border area all over the United States. That means your little Google business profile is starting to reach everywhere. And usually it has that little area section off in the map goes all the way out to the ocean. Well, nobody's searching for you in the ocean. I tell people that it's really important for you to understand what the power is of this tool. It's hyper local focused. Then I get the question, Maria, what happens then? Because I take care of business internationally. So I don't want to just stay local. Understand, for you to compete just even on the national stage. So let's start with the national place. If you want to even compete there, you need 60 5-star reviews, 60 to even compete nationally. If you are a brand, if you are an e-commerce store, you need 120 5-star reviews. And understand that's 5 stars with at least 3 sentences there, because it doesn't count without other content, at least 3 sentences or video or photo there. It needs one of those 3 things there for it to be able to count in your actual rating and your average. So you need 60 minimum as a brand, 120 as a actual e-commerce store. So as we look at this, what I explain to people in their strategy with their Google business profile is I try to stay really hyper local focused. And here's why, because I know how important those 65-star reviews are. So when I'm advising somebody or coaching someone, I'll explain to them, listen, you know people who knew you before you owned your business. They either volunteer with you at school, PTA, that you see them at the soccer parking lot, you see them at church, somewhere you see people, you're at the grocery store, they do business with you. And for some people, you are their best customer. So they want you to succeed. If you didn't have any money to spend with them, they would be really sad. So they want to help you. Reach out to those people because they may not know your business, but they know your work ethic in the role that you have. So ask them to help and support you. More often than not, they're happy to help you do that, but you just got to ask. Most of the time, people don't ask. They just hope. Remember what I said about hope being wonderful, but a poor strategy. They hope that people will leave them a review. So I've got a question here. What if I'm across one state like Michigan? That's great. You're across Michigan, but understand once you go past 100 miles, you dilute the effectiveness of this tool. You can utilize other Google tools to reach over 100 miles, but this tool is meant to be hyper-focused in 100 miles. And the reason being is you need to get to 65-star reviews. That is what you can do when you are close to your local area. Or let's say you've identified that, maybe I'm in Midland, Texas, the base of the Panhandle, which some of you may know from Friday Night Lights. Houston is a good 8 hours away from me, a good 8 hours. But if that's where I'm doing most of my business, then I might put 20 zip codes in the Houston area, but I'll stay highly concentrated. Why? Because I want to show up. I don't want to try to dilute all my efforts across the United States, because when I do that, now I'm competing with everyone that already has amazing reviews. I need to be able to get all of the reviews that I actually need. So if you're an e-commerce business only, it's best to remove the address. It's best to put your service area. So you're saying you deliver products and services to your customer's location, because package delivery is still delivery. If you deliver it in your church parking lot or the school parking lot of your kiddos, because you said, hey, I can just bring that to you, or they pick it up in your porch, that is still delivery. So definitely you don't have to show your address, but you can show that you deliver products and services, and you can suppress your actual address. Let's see also, see if you have 65 reviews and your address unpublished, and have your address unpublished on Google profile. That's great. If you've got 65 reviews, it's great. I still, again, if you are selling any products on there, remember e-commerce is 120. So definitely take a look and see how you can grow that even more. I do not sell any e-commerce products. I am a brand, just myself, a personal brand, a person, right? I am just a person. I have 255 Google reviews, 5-star reviews, okay? But I keep it hyper local focused. All right. Now, when you get reviews, and I see lots of questions on there, everybody, I will answer the longer questions at the end. So just in case I lose that in the feed going up, make sure you hold on to that and ask me that at the end, just because it'll take a long time for me to read it when it's more than a sentence. Okay, I will do that for you. I just don't want to slow us down in case somebody needs to jump off somewhere. I want to cover the meat of what we're talking about here, and I will definitely go back to your questions because it's important to be able to answer your questions. All right. So as you respond to reviews, you see some tips there. You see 5 bullet points. Here's the key. When somebody leaves you a review, you're going to get good reviews. Say thank you. 97% of people don't say thank you for a good review just because we overlook it. We think thank you in our head, or we think, cool, that was awesome, but then we don't say thank you. And that's really important. If you want to raise awareness of you and the fact that you do listen to your customers, then be into that 3%, that very rare 3% that say thank you for good reviews. It's human nature that we look for the negative. Oh, what's the negative review? Okay, there's a good review. Now what's the negative? And we put and focus all of our attention there. Now, understand there are going to be trolls. In any business online, there are trolls, just people with too much time on their hands. They've never been a customer of yours and they just want to leave a negative review. It's just going to happen. Don't feed the trolls. Leave them alone. Don't engage. There are some businesses who will actually go back and say, I don't see you on my client roles or customer roles, but this is our phone number or this is my email address. So please contact me here because I'd like to learn more in case I overlooked you. So you can see that they're listening. That's the big thing with reviews. People who don't respond to their reviews, the first impression people are having is that you don't listen to what people are saying. And how many of us want to do business with somebody who doesn't listen to people or can't even take the time to care what their customers say? Now, let's say you get a negative review. We are all going to be subject to negative reviews one time in our life or another. When you get a negative review, here is what you say or write in the response. That's not the experience that we want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Will you please contact me here? Now, what happens when you do that and you put the contact information, it's either your email, a link to your contact form on your site, or your phone number. And the reason you put that, or maybe WhatsApp, your WhatsApp link, you put that there. The reason you do that is for 3 reasons. Number one is they realize it's a real person reading the review. So all of a sudden we can get a little bit more calm when we realize we're not just talking to a computer or AI or a bot. Now all of a sudden we realize it's a real person who just paid attention. To all of us from the outside looking in, we see you care, you're listening, you're paying attention to what people are saying and what customers are saying. Number 2 is it takes that offline. The more you interact with a review, of course, Google's algorithm reads it as popular. So of course, anything popular shows up more, higher in search. We don't want it to show higher in search, so we want to take that offline as quickly as possible into a contact form, or as I said, a phone or email or WhatsApp link. But number 3, sometimes when you get a negative review, it really is a request or a complaint, but in another format. So they just want to be heard. And when they can be heard, all of a sudden they can become your best advocate just because they feel heard. And when they're the feet on the street for you, speaking positively, that you listened, you made these changes, you valued their opinion, there's much more weight in your reputation and positivity there than anything else that you could put out marketing wise. So it's good to put that out. What about negative reviews that aren't relevant to your business? Those are trolls, Clay. And as I said, I would not even engage with them. At the most I've ever heard people do is they'll say, oh, I don't see you on our client list, or I don't see you on our guest list, or I don't even see that we've done business together, but I'd like to learn more. And they leave that information so that you can take that offline. And it tells all of us who are searching and finding your business for the first time, reading your reviews, that you actually do care and listen to people. Okay. Yep. Use remote services. It seems as Google would have some advertising capability. Tony, not really sure what that's coming from. I might be coming in mid to you responding to somebody. So rephrase it. If you want me to answer a question on that, I'm not really sure. Okay, let me know. All right, so you can ask for reviews when you do have a Google business profile. That link comes up and you'll see that little icon next to it, which looks like 2 pieces of paper on top of each other. Well, that's just, you can copy and paste that. You can use it in email. It's already set up for that. It's set up for WhatsApp and it's set up for Facebook. Okay. So how products appear, if you have products, now understand, this is showing the case study of Woodward Throwbacks. So they have products, but even if you have services, you can put pictures. I know a lot of heating and air conditioning companies that just do maintenance, as far as annual maintenance and cleaning of filters, that will put pictures of how clean everybody looks when they go in, the fact that they'll even zoom in on the footies that they put on their boots to make sure you don't get any mud, how pristine and nice their materials and their equipment and their tools are that they bring into your house, so they're not bringing in a bunch of oil and junk into your house. So they will use pictures of that, which shows people exactly what is the outcome and what are the expectations they can have from your services. So you can edit your products. Now, even though I'm showing products, a Google Business Profile has the ability to show services here as well. Okay, just so you know, you can do the same thing with services. So you can add the name for services too, just like for products, category, a photo. You can give a price range. It can be between $5 and $500. Really doesn't matter. It depends on you and your business. And then a button that either takes them to the web page so they can look at it, or is call to click, that they can click on it to call you for more information, which a lot of times when people are in services businesses, and let's say you're a plumber and things are just flooding all over, you don't want to look at a website to study anything or fill out a form. You want to call, click, and actually click and call and speak to somebody. Okay. So your next steps are to look at your google.com/business, go there and claim that no matter how you do business. Yep. Why is geographic more location? Let's see. Let's use your HVAC example. Why is geographic location more important than HVAC services to Google AI algorithm? I don't know the algorithm since it's changing every day, Tony. So I can't tell you, but I can tell you that the pillars are relevance, the distance, and prominence. So distance has a lot to do with it because people search. In fact, most searches, over 90% of searches, are they want to find a business near me. They want to know if somebody has that brand, that product, or that service near them. Okay. So that's why, because people have that interest, Google actually puts weight in that because of the interaction that it sees, because so it's tracking and finding what everybody's doing and searching for online. So I hope that answers your question, but the algorithm is always ever changing. AI is not set whatsoever at all. Somebody has their mic hot again. I've got a microphone on, somebody, so will you please make sure you mute your microphone? Or Bill, if you could do that as well. I just want to make sure we've got a good, clear recording for everybody.
On 1849 to 19 that were registered.
Okay, we really are hearing somebody really nice and clear, Bill. And they're not paying attention to us. Okay. I can hear them in my ear, and you guys probably can hear them too. It's not going to come up in my recording because my recording, I can't mute them, Clay, because I don't have host controls. Bill has host controls. I'm a guest presenter, so I can't. If I was hosting it, I would know how to do that, but I can't do that.
Oh, I'm trying to do it right now, but I'm having trouble getting to it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I think it is. I see it. Let me see. I can do this. Oh, no, I can't. I can see the person that they just brought up. Perfect. Okay. Because let's just say I can't mute. I can pin them and I can hide them. Perfect. Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you. Thank you. So it'll show up in your Zoom recording. In my recording, it's only picking up my voice, just so you know, so you won't hear that. But everybody who hears the recording will know that I'm asking and wondering who this person is. All right. So you can also list your products. If you have e-commerce, you can utilize Google Merchant Center for free. Everybody, a lot of people think Google Merchant Center is just for Google shopping ads. And that is what it can do. One of the things, but you can use it 100% for free. Uh-oh, I hear him again, and I really can't. If you hover over his name, there are 3 dots to the right, top right-hand corner. You can mute him. I just can't because that's not enabled for me as a panel participant.
If for some reason I'm not getting the
No worries.
participants to come up when I click on them. So
Let's see. Hopefully he'll be quiet now because his mic is still hot. Nope, he's listening to somebody else.
Yeah, please mute your audio, everyone who's online.
All right. Yes, I see it muted. Thank you so much, Bill. He heard your voice. Your voice was much more powerful. Thank you. All right. So Google Merchant Center, let's go ahead and dive in deeper. This is where your products can show up. Now, understand Google Merchant Center is for products only. All right, so everything with Google Business Profile is for products and services. All right, so make sure, thank you everybody for helping out too, to make sure we get a good, clean recording. Thank you, thank you. When we go to Google Merchant Center, this is product based. All right, so if you have a product, let's say you have a book that you put out, a PDF that you sell to people, maybe you've got actual product like oils, lotions, maybe you're selling the filters, maybe you're selling, you know, something to do caulking with, whatever you're doing. And then of course, retail products like dog products, furniture, now you can utilize your Google Merchant Center for that. And understand that when you use Google Merchant Center and you connect and list your products there, this is what happens. You can actually put things and they're seen in Google Shopping. So see, there's a tab there. If you ever look on Google on a laptop or a desktop, you'll see that there are tabs there at the very top. Shopping is where a lot of people go for comparison. We see a lot of people utilize this. So I might want to click, see on the left-hand side how I can select, all right, I want only people or only products. Let's say I'm looking for woodwood throwbacks. I want to buy from them and I want products that are only up to $40. So I don't want to spend a lot. And maybe I only want new items because I'm going to give this as a gift. And maybe I want to really look at different even sellers because maybe I have a favorite shopping store that I'm shopping with and I'm looking for this particular brand there. So again, that's the shopping tab. You can use that for price comparison. And a lot of people do comparison shopping there. You can also look at images. Now, if 2020 taught us anything, it's that we became very visual. And people watch TikTok like crazy, and we want to see things visually. We want to look. In fact, on every phone, we have Google Lens, right? Especially every Android. It's coming across to the App Store. Of course, it's in the App Store in the actual iPhone, but you have Google Lens. It's been around for over 7 years. You can take a picture of something, and the minute you have that image, it will now search it online. It'll do a visual search. There are 12 billion searches every month on images alone. People do their shopping by images. Amazon started that because Amazon has it. You can snap a picture and Amazon will go through all of its list and find that actual visual. Well, then Google has it as well. And some people don't ever text in or say anything in search. They just take a picture and they search it. And if your image is not there, then they can't even consider you. And if they don't know you exist, how can they do business with you, right? So you have that ability to be able to create an account, you upload products. So if you look at that bottom left-hand corner, that's how you get to Merchant Center and you can showcase there. Can a realtor put an ad for selling a property on Merchant Center? No, they cannot. It has got to be an actual product. So, and a house is considered property, not a product. Okay, so it's not actually for Google Merchant Center. It's got to be an actual product. And that's how you can showcase your products across Google. Now, can you showcase in your actual house in your updates of your Google Business Profile? Jadeep, yes, you can do that. Just know the rules of your MLS, right? You need to know exactly what the rules are of the Realtor Association for your business or for your state so that you're in compliance. All right, so that's the most important thing for you to be in compliance with them. Now, when you look at your Google Merchant Center guidelines, you can see here that your products are available for direct purchase. They can make sure they purchase from you, or maybe you have it available at a local location. So you can say maybe you have it in a few boutiques, so you can put that in there as well. You do also have to have a secure checkout process if you are checking out online. So you have to show that it's secure and that you take people's data seriously, and then also that you have a return and refund policy. That has to be visible on your site in order for you to utilize Google Merchant Center. All right. So how you can set yourself up for success. There's a couple of questions here. Cheryl, are services offered online a product for a Merchant Center? It depends on the service. Like if you've compiled the service into a book, so it's got to be a physical product. It's a physical product, Cheryl, just so you know. So if you got it into an actual book, like I might sell it as a digital PDF, but I might use like some service like Printful, and I have it printed if somebody wants it printed. So maybe as a digital, I sell it for $3, and as a printed product, I sell it for $13, just because it's printed. So if it's a printed product, then I can put it up there and utilize Google Merchant Center as long as I fulfill these other 3 things that we're just talking about. They're available, that you have a secure checkout process, and you have a return policy. Okay. All right, so as you get ready for shoppers, look at their behavior. I always tell people to measure their marketing. If you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent, that's not lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goal. Is $1 or 1 minute spent too much? So when you look at your insights, if you see that people are looking or calling your number or clicking on you close to a certain time, then you know there's an interest there. Now, if they found you on maps, if you happen to be a physical location and they found you on maps, then within the next 48 to 72 hours, they're making a decision of who they're going to do business with. Because when people go to maps, that means they're ready. They're close to that buying time, or what we call a conversion action. A conversion action is buying, what is one of them, but it's anything successful that you want your customer to do that gets them closer to being able to do business with you. Okay. So sometimes a conversion action is they clicked on something and they watched your video, because they know when people watch your video, then you get 50% of them to sign up for your email list. And when they're on their email list, you sell almost 80% of them. So that's your strategy to drive them there. Okay. To make that payment process simple, a lot of people use lots of tools that people are used to. Understand that there's a lot of businesses and they don't look at their insights. And I will go in there and take a look and say, you know what? Your best customer is shopping, and when they're spending most time on your site is at 2:20 in the morning. 2:20. That's when they have downtime. They're mostly moms with at least 2 small children, at least 35 or older. That is when they're shopping. So they're in their bed with a tablet or phone and they're shopping. The last thing they want to do is to go get up and go get their credit card. So if you're using PayPal, Shop Pay, Google Pay, Meta Pay, Apple Pay, any of those, all of their payment information is there and they just have to click it. Very rarely do we have our credit card numbers memorized. So they are going to utilize one of these tools. And if you don't have that, they're going to look for a store that does, because by gosh, I'm not about to get up from the covers to go get that credit card that's in my bag. And you've got to think mobile first. If we have to pinch, zoom, swipe side to side to be able to finish reading something, that is not mobile friendly or responsive. It needs to be able to adjust and understand. We all, at least on average, people have about 5 different devices. So we have phones, we have tablets, we have laptops, we have desktops, we have smart TVs. So we throw things all different places. And even though we might start on our phone in the morning and the kiddo a drop-off line, then we throw it over to our tablet, then we get to the office, we throw it to our desktop, laptop, and a cafe later, and to the smart TV at home. Understand that it needs to be able to adjust and look good to each of those. Okay. Got a question here. I don't understand the 100-mile range when it costs the same to ship a product or service any greater. Understand, Tony, it's the power of the tool. That's why I'm trying to explain the tool. The tool is most effective within 100 miles. It doesn't mean or any way limit or negate what you go through. Those are 2 mutually exclusive things on operating a business and what the tool can do. I'm telling you the power of the tool, and I'm telling you to focus on it, or else you'll waste your time posting on there. No reason to post on there if you're not going to get the most bang for your buck, right? So let's talk about the recap and resources, and then I'll make sure to answer your questions. How do you make your site faster? Oh, Marina, it really depends on what's slowing down your site, right? So it could be the most of the time it's photos. Just so you know, everybody, just so you know, photos are the biggest slowdown of every site loading time. And that's because we use photos that have about 600 dot per inch resolution. It's great for a publication. If we're printing it, it's nice, crisp, and clear. But online, we only need 96. When you try to load something that's really high resolution, high definition on a mobile device, it's not going to load, or you get the dreaded X. So it's not doing the effect that it needs to anyways. You want it to look nice and crisp and clear because you want people to see it. But if they can't see it and it won't load and they won't wait for it to upload, that's what happens. All right. All right, so your next step is to create or claim your business profile. If you have products or services, both. If you're a home-based, or you are by appointment only, or you're a brick and mortar, or you're online, all 4 of those, utilize that, your Google business profile. Read and respond to your customer reviews. It's important for people to see that you actually listen to people. Say thank you. Anybody who's been through a session with me knows that when they do that, that will elevate your visibility. You can use Google Merchant Center if you've got products, actual physical products, and you can showcase in more places like Google Lens, Google Shopping, Google Images, and then of course, Google Shopping ads, which you see at the very top of search. You can utilize those too, but those are paid. And what I'm talking about is all free, 100% free. And then make the checkout process really easy for customers so they can just buy from you. That's our job, to make sure that we make it easy. Whoops, there we go. We make it easy for people to buy from us. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. What is your action plan? What are you going to do next? And I'm going to answer some questions here while you're thinking about what you're going to do next. And if you want to share it on the chat, please do. Does Google have access to Etsy reviews? No. Google does not have access to Etsy reviews, Amazon reviews, eBay reviews. All of those actual places are what's known as marketplaces. So they're all closed loop. It's not Google can't get in there, it's Google's not allowed in there. Etsy, eBay, Amazon, all keep it very closed. Any of you who've run Amazon shops, because I've worked with lots and lots of Amazon sellers, is the fact that you can't see any information about your customer. Then you have to come up with creative strategies of how they can self-disclose by putting like either a QR code or a link in the actual product package to say, hey, you get a lifetime guarantee, get a free refill, you get a special percentage off, a special gift, so they can disclose that you're your customer, because they don't tell them on Amazon. You don't have access to that. So it's very limited, but they all have their own insights, Michelle. Okay, so they all have their own insights. Take a look at that as well. Our services offered online a product for the Merchant Center? No, I think I answered that one. How can you make your site faster? Images, that's number one, but make sure you look at your page speed insights. That's important to do as well. Okay. And I can show you what that is if we have a few minutes, but I'd love to hear if any of you want to say what you're going to take away, because knowledge is not powerful until it is applied. I gave you a lot of good information here. We went through a lot of stuff. What's the resolution of images again? You want it to be at least 96 DPI. That's the lowest resolution to be able to be seen online. And it still shows up on really great on a 4.5-inch screen. Okay. Great question, Adrian. You're trying to get to a Google business profile. Diane, thank you for being brave and the first one to jump in the chat to actually say what you're going to do to apply what you learned. That's how knowledge is powerful. Be mobile friendly, absolutely, because we have so many different devices. And if it doesn't change, Google penalizes you right away and you cannot show up. It doesn't matter how much and whatever you do in search. If you try and even pay for ads, you will not show up in the first 10 organic searches of Google. Now understand, for a while, Google tested the unlimited scroll, so you never saw pages. You could just keep scrolling. That has already changed about 3 weeks ago. That changed. We're back to pages, and people don't look past the first page of Google search, which is 10 organic searches. Unless they are hunting you down for some specific reason, that is where they stop, at the first 10 searches. So he said, owning your business profile, set up your Google Merchant Center. You're welcome, Catherine. Post products on your Google business profile page. That's excellent. Excuse me. And I need to get my product on Market Center. Looking at reviews, create your business profile. Perfect. I love, love, love this. Control your information. This is your information online. Be in control of it, right? Absolutely. To Google Business, absolutely, because understand it is where people go, and because it's where people go and they look and they make decisions from there, because people are making great decisions, reading, boy, I can't say that too fast, right? I try to put it all together. Reading and analyzing your Google, your actual reviews, they make a decision on whether they're going to do business with you. Oh, absolutely. How much is text needed in Google for high SEO? Well, text is important, but make sure it needs to be in the right place. Text is important. Is it helpful to people, or is it just gibberish, right? Is it just there meaning to stuff for SEO? Because SEO of 2023 and early 2024 is no longer that way. It's definitely changed, given that AI and AI search and AI powered search is actually on the roster, right? You're very welcome. Claiming your session. All right. Yes, this is recorded. Did somebody want to see how you can see your actual page speed before we get off? Just let me know. Gina says yes. I think she's saying yes to me. I hope she is, because I took it. It came in right away afterwards. Yes, the copy of the slides. Let me drop that again in the chat for everybody. If you want the slides, you can get them right now. If not, it could be about 24 hours before you get a copy of the slides and the handout. I don't think the handout loaded. So we're going to email you the handout and then a copy of the recording. Okay. All right. I see a few yeses here. All right. Let me go to a live demo real quick. Let me bring that up. Give me a moment because I'm about to switch screens, everybody. All right. I need one person only to give me their website address. All right. Website address, one person. All right. I see bracelets there. All right. Let me bring this in and I'm going to let it analyze. So where I'm at, let me bring this up. There we go. All right. Ooh, I know I'm broadcasting, so that can be small. Let me make it a lot bigger. I'm in Page Speed Insights. I'm going to put your website here and it's going to analyze this. Now, I am broadcasting, so this will take a little bit longer than what it normally will, but it's going to show us how you're doing on mobile and how you're doing on desktop as well. Okay, so we're going to let that do that. Actually, while that's doing that, I'm going to also encourage you, if you're in Google Chrome, and this only works in Google Chrome, if you go to site, SITE : and then you put your website address, no HTTPS, nothing like that, no //. And then if you go here, this is telling me what Google sees about you. So you can see Google sees all of these things about your bracelet. Now, is it seeing all the right things, or is there some pages you don't want it to see? Right? And it's seeing, gosh, knowing that there are 10 searches per pages and you've got 7 pages there. If all 7 are yours, that's about 70. Does that cover all the different pages? And understand a blog post is a page. Every post in a blog is a page. So is it showcasing, does Google see you? Have you entered all of your website, all of your digital properties into Google's library? Because you can do that yourself in Google Search Console. That's a whole other class that we'll talk about. But I know we're right at a minute after, so I do want to show this real quick to answer the question for Yulia, and then I'm going to get off. All right. So what I'm showing you right here is, this is where you can see your page speed for 100% for free. You just Google Page Speed Insights. So just Google this up here. All right. And then when you Google that, you will see this is what you're doing on mobile. So 33, the goal is you want to be at 80 minimum. All right. So that means there's something slowing down your site. All right. You want your performance to be about, said 80. Great SEO, great best practices, good accessibility. So somebody who isn't sighted can read your site pretty good, but it's not loading well. And see, this is it. That is telling me, first, contentful paint, that's telling me it's an image. There's an image slowing it down. When you think about, remember what I said, in every second, after 1.2 seconds, you'll lose 53%. For every second over, you'll lose another 10%. Each panel here represents a second. Where are we at? 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds before your site actually starts showing up on a mobile. Now, how do you do on desktop? Let's look. Go to desktop. And desktop, 64, better. You're still not at the 80, but you're a little bit better there. But mobile is where 84% of us go. So if I had a limited time and budget, I would focus on my mobile search. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to show you that to everybody. And Bill, I know we've covered a lot right now and I went over by 3 minutes. I apologize. I was really getting into some of the questions here. I appreciate the time very, very much. And I'll be quiet now.
Okay, thank you again for joining us. Great information. Maria will be joining us again on the 22nd of August on Launch Your Business with Customer Focused Marketing, and then again on the 27th with Cybersecurity in Your Small Business. So we look forward again to getting great resources from you. So thanks so much. Appreciate you all joining. You will get copies of the presentation and the recording. So thank you all. Have a great weekend or day.